Hi guys, this is Anna from Anna and Ivy, and today I will show you how to use our Xmas or Christmas animation collection, which contains animated files as well as vector files, so you can use it in both ways. So like you can create animated stuff with it and of course static. So first of all, we will make a short walk through the files so you can see what's actually inside of it. Just for information, for those of you who never used any animated files from us, you can use the animated files in Photoshop 2018 and earlier, or newer 2018 and newer versions, and you can use it in Premiere Pro, After Effects, Final Cut, as well as DaVinci Resolve, which is for free. You can find tutorials for DaVinci on our YouTube channel or on my YouTube channel, and yeah, it's basically everywhere the same. The animations have transparent backgrounds, so you can put it on top of your video clips, on your YouTube videos, wherever you want to. Just to make it clear for those of you who are new to this kind of animation, you are not able to prepare the files on iPad or iPhone, the animated parts. Of course, you can use the static files on your iPad if you have, for example, Adobe Illustrator or Procreate. This is not a problem, but the animated files have to be prepared on a desktop computer first, and then you can export them to use it, for example, in a YouTube video or on your phone as Instagram stories and so on. So if you have questions about this, please feel free to ask. So we have the animated files here. You will get several download links, and every download, every folder is about 2 gigabyte huge. It's 2 gigabyte huge. So it's easier for you to download because we have a lot of files. So the animated files are about 200 or so, the single ones. So these are always like 2 gigabyte chunks, which are easy to download. Please don't try to download everything at once, because this will not be possible to download such a huge download, or you can synchronize it to your Dropbox. So let's go through the files. You have the single elements in the flat version. Let's see, where can we show it here? So these are the flat versions. As you can see, it's kind of how to explain it, kind of sleek. So the border is okay. This is like the preview. The border is kind of normal, so to speak. And then we have the sketchy version, which has this where is it? Let me check it. Yeah, this has some kind of this sketchy style, and also it looks more handmade. So all files are available in both styles, so you can choose between each style. So here you can see it a bit more clearer. It's like this. Some elements pop up, some rotate, and of course the greenery stuff, the leaves and branches and so on, they move with the wind, so to speak. So then we have the compositions, also flat and sketchy. You have like compositions with all the greenery stuff. You can directly use it like it is. So we have these kinds, and then we have the sketchy ones, which are also available as flat. So yeah, these are the wreaths or wreaths. I still don't know how to pronounce this. Here we go. Now you can see each, but you will see all the animations in the preview video, so just a short overview. Then we have the patterns. They are also available as flat and as sketchy style patterns. They have also transparent background, so you can drag them directly on your YouTube video, for example. So each file has the length of 30 seconds, and if you want to use it for these are backgrounds, for example, like this cute kind of backgrounds you can also see in the preview video. So, and then we have the ready-made lists, like for Christmas wish lists for your Instagram stories. These you can simply send to your phone and use it directly as if you would use an Instagram story. The length is also 30 seconds, so you can separate them inside of Instagram into 2 stories or simply delete the second one. So you have lines and small squares. Yeah, so that's it with the animated part. And then we have also each element, each single element as vector files. So you have the single, these are all the same but different kind of formats. So you have for the Illustrator version 2020, you have the files separated in artboards all over here, and then we have also the CS2 compatible file, because these two are not compatible. So for those of you who use older versions of Illustrator or any other program which supports vector or EPS files in general, you can use this, and here are the single artboards. Yeah. So then we have all files as PNG. The static files are only with a flat version, because the sketchy version is made in the animation process, so just keep this in mind. So the other thing we have are these two textures. This is a crayon texture and a marker texture, which are super cool when you use it on top or as a mask for your elements. You can also use it as a mask for the animation, so it's quite cool. I will show you how to use them in the next step. So let's create an animated Instagram story with all the techniques we can use. We head over to Photoshop. I already prepared my Instagram story size format Canva document. So we don't need this anymore, so we will delete it. And the first thing I will do, I will add a pattern to this whole thing. Which one could we do? Oh, you have, by the way, the buffalo plate. I hope I named it right. Patterns, which are available in the sketchy version, because if you make it flat, it doesn't move at all. So I simply added these ones so they have this crinkly, wiggly kind of texture. So which one could we take? Let's take this one. This is like super cute. Drag and drop it to your Photoshop document, and if you were so in this way you have the perfect size for your YouTube video. If you rotate it like this, you have the perfect size for your Instagram story. So it's quite easy to handle. So this is our pattern. I will change the background to something else, another color, maybe something pinkish. So this looks nicer. So the next thing we can do is maybe add some, let me see, I don't know if I called it the right way, but I think it's called like banderole or something like this. So we add it here, and here you can see you don't see anything at the beginning, because this element builds up when the animation goes on. So in this case you have like the first frame is like nothing to see, so just don't freak out when you don't see anything because it builds up. So let's head over to the timeline to make it visible. So we go to Window, Timeline, and then you click on Create Video Timeline. Don't click on Create Frame Animation. Here we go. Now you can see the whole thing is 30 seconds long. Let's make it 50 seconds because we don't need a longer animation for Instagram stories. And then you can simply move this here and crop the whole thing. Now we can see our background layer is like shorter than the animations, so we have to move this to the right. Now we have all things together, and here you can see the animation built up from the first frame to the second and so on. So what we can also add is maybe this gingerbread man, like here. Now you can see it's behind the pattern. Just let me shorten this. It's behind the pattern, which makes no sense, so I will move it in the layer section above the pattern, and when we look at it, here we go. So simply, if you want to scale it, go to Command T or Edit, and then Free Transform, and scale this little guy. So the next thing is we can add some text in here. Here we go. Again, move it on top. And again, we see our animation of the text in the timeline, or our text is shorter than the rest. So we need to adjust this. The cool thing is if you use the same color as your background in your font in this case, you can simply make it invisible as long as the background animation does not appear. So I hope this makes sense. So you can now export this or add more layers to it. Just keep in mind, if you use Photoshop for this whole animation things, depending on the amount of animated layers you put on top of each other, it starts to get a bit slow because Photoshop is not an animation program in this case, it's not really an animation program. You can animate with it, but it's not made for it, I would say. So if you have the option to use, for example, Final Cut, I would prefer to use it, or Premiere, or any other animation or video program. So it's basically the same workflow. It really is only another program, and again, DaVinci Resolve is for free if you don't have the other programs. So one thing I want to show you is how to use the texture. So simply drag and drop it to your file, and this is the same with the animated as well as the static one. Simply press Command on your keyboard and click on the crayon texture. Now it's selected. Then you can make it invisible. Go to your element you want to adjust with this texture, click on it, and then go down here on the mask icon, and here we go. Now you have this tiny little mask on top of your element, and this makes it kind of crayon style. So you can adjust it, or maybe copy and paste it so that it's not so intense, or you can press Command L or go to Image Adjustments, and then it's Brightness Contrast, I think. Here you can adjust the intensity a bit more So this is like only the beginner kind of tutorial. So if you are not a beginner in Photoshop, I think you know how to adjust the layer mask to make it more in the direction you want to have it. So here we go. Let's make it like this, and yeah, that's basically it. If you export this video clip, you can send it to your phone and use it there, or the cool thing you can also do is you can import this video clip as an MP4 into Canva if you use Canva, and then work with it over there, or create templates for your clients and so on. So just for your information. So let's export this whole thing. So we go to File, Export, and then Render Video. Here we go. Make sure your size is set to your document size, and then select your folder wherever you want to export it. Just make sure all your layers are the same length, or the length you want to have them, and then simply click on Render. This will take a bit because, again, Photoshop is not an animation tool kind of program, so it needs a bit of time to export this whole thing. But yeah. So now our animation is finished and ready to use. In this case, I used the flat version of the animations, but the background is the sketchy version, so you can see a bit the difference, because also the movement is a bit more kind of playful and not so sleek. So you can decide which one you would prefer to use. Yeah, as I said, now you can use it as it is, or do whatever you want with this cool Instagram animation. If you have any questions left, please feel free to send me a message or ask or whatever you want to, or maybe just say hello. And I wish you a lot of fun with this animation set, or this whole design set. And I wish you a Merry Christmas as soon as we can say. When do you start to say Merry Christmas? At the 1st of December, I think. So maybe I'm a bit too early with this, but I hope you're doing well, and I hope your families and your loved ones are healthy in this crazy time. And yeah, I hope you can enjoy the Christmas time a bit, although it's different than the years before. But yeah, wishing you a lovely festive time, and see you in the next tutorial. Bye!